we really need a voice for maintenance. And I feel like you are that voice, and seeing everybody on here, it goes a long way. I'm very happy to be a part of this. I am really interested, number one, in, we are a very paper-based industry, maintenance, and getting maintenance people to stop using paper and kind of switch gears over to technology, meaning iPads, phones, whatever. It has been a real challenge for us. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars on technology, and I just can't seem to get people to embrace the technology portion, meaning work orders, maintenance of my queue, preventive maintenance, everything that we've had pieces of paper for the 30 years I've been in the business really doesn't need to be that way anymore. And with all the lawsuits and everything that happens on a regular basis, I think it's really important that we can figure out how to get our teams to get more invested in the technology portion of the world. I mean, it's kind of like when you look back in leases 30 something years ago, the leases for people, everything was on paper, right? And now most everything is computerized, and everything is, in a place where we don't have to have a file cabinet anymore, right? Even if you're an affordable site, you don't have to have that file cabinet. So that's number one. Number two, how we can streamline the industry by utilizing AI. And, a lot of people say AI and maintenance, it doesn't make any sense, but the back end of how we can take work orders, and as long as there's good information in, we can almost have AI help us identify a problem before we even walk in the door. If not, handle that issue over the telephone with a robot. So that's stuff that I'm really interested in looking at. 5 years from now, we didn't have, hey, let's Google this, or hey, let's go on to YouTube to figure out how to fix something, right? And look how far we've come just with that little piece.
There are over 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day between now and the end of 2027. For every 10 that retire, my understanding from the Department of Labor is only 2 people are coming into the trades. And let's face it, that's what we are. We're in that group of folks in the trades. We're only bringing in 2 of the 10 for the 10 that left. We're going to get to serious constriction really quickly. And we're competing against the hospitality industry, the construction industry, contractors. Everybody's fishing from the same pond. Well, we've got to come up with better ways. And I know Adrian is truly passionate about technology and optimizing that. But I've been doing this for 38 years now. I know that one of the big challenges is getting our workforce to adopt the technology that we know can be helpful. And that's for a lot of different reasons. But, what I hear with my folks, from around the country is a lot of it is limited English proficiency. They don't understand it. So if we can work with the providers that are providing this optimization and make sure that they can provide, their platforms with some type of a translator into Spanish or Haitian Creole or one of the other primary languages, I think we're going to find ourselves in a much better place as an industry to recruit and retain the best talent out there.
It would be great if some of the work order management programs that are used, if they almost had like an FAQ, a frequently asked question. If a resident was having difficulty getting a digital thermostat, if there were something that could walk them through it. I know in our industry, one of the challenges that we would have to be able to overcome with that would be people actually reading the FAQ. We may still have seniors who don't have computers. I think some of the new automations that we have put out with MIQ, using a digital platform rather than the paper. Once we work through getting everyone trained, getting any and every bug worked out of the system, I definitely see where that's going to expedite the work.
One of the best things that I think we've come across, as far as, I don't know if it's considered AI, but as far as the technology, is actually the speak to take notes. I saw a huge increase in the amount of detail because I'm sure all of you have had the work orders that say done, which tells us a lot. But being able to share that information and have it catalog in such a way that it's easy to find for that next technician, I think would be a fantastic leap forward. So they don't have to read through all the notes, but you can actually have it categorized as they put the notes in. So it's easy for the next step.
When it comes to innovation, I've always envisioned how can we simplify and improve our maintenance productivity with inventory. It would be great if our inventory could have some kind of sensor, right? As you put your parts in, in box, if there's a sensor that can say, oh, that this, how many parts have been taken, or what's being used, and automatically submit like a request to order in the parts and supplies.
You're making a great point out there, Leslie. And Amazon uses that weight-based inventory. I've done studies on my own that show that actually picking at least 2 vendors to compete for your business, it could save you probably in a neighborhood of 20% of what you're currently paying with just one, regardless of how great of a deal you get. I'm really hoping that Amazon comes and competes because, that's going to like really disrupt the industry. And the industry honestly needs a wake-up call like that on a procurement side. We can't just operate businesses like in the 1990s.
Having the ability to see and check in and just kind of keep an eye on what's going on. I used to run a bunch of reports to see where things, from a maintenance perspective, how we were doing. And now I kind of see oh, that number looks high. Like I know that, well, all of a sudden we've got vacant unit number is high, and it kind of allows me to dive in. And so I've gotten accustomed to where we should be at certain points and what numbers look elevated or concerning and so on. So I'm hoping it has the same effect on, everyone at the regional and site level as well.
When it comes to procurement, the misses that the current marketplaces have, right? Instead, having an integrated solution, you have either the punch out or the other one that doesn't allow real-time pricing. And what that ends up doing is, you shop for pricing that's not up to date. And it goes back to the managers to do change orders on every single invoice, which is ridiculous, or get stuff that's not being shipped because the particular item has been discontinued.
Yeah, but there's no communication, right? And that goes back to that whole conversation that Yardi could solve that problem, right? They could support it, they could create that dashboard or landing page, but they, like you said, they don't really have an interest in supporting the maintenance or MRO side, right? They leave it up to the suppliers. They'll get their information, and they're only gonna pass it through.
Been speaking with Amazon recently, and like you were saying with the purchasing aspect of it, is that they are projected to be on Yardi Marketplace this fall as a punch-out vendor, which would be a pretty big step for them. And I think in regards to our company, when that happens, I think that you will see them take over. It's funny when you're talking to them and other platforms, they think they're oh no, they're just going to be the tail spend. They are not actually going to be a primary. And I totally view it as different. I think they're gonna take over everything. As some of you may know, if you have a Prime membership with a business Prime membership with them, they have healthcare packages that they're offering for your company. They have package lockers. They have a whole bunch of different things. We're not taking advantage of that right now. I think they are positioned to take over, even though they don't view it that way.